Don't just take the easy, lazy approach, government officials, and jack up property taxes. That would be detrimental to your market. This is Byron Lazine and Nicole White, and you are tuned into episode 129 of The Real Word.
Word is up. You know, you didn't let me do that last episode. You were so anxious to get in with our Houston guy. You didn't even let me. You didn't even let me.
Thank you again to Matt Burris of HAR.
Yeah.
Go back and watch 128. I thought that was a really good interview.
Yeah, no, it was great. He's a jolly folk. I like him.
He was a great guy. I appreciated him sharing. And there's a lot of insight there. But that's all in the past. I'd encourage you, if you did miss that episode, to go back, listen to the podcast, watch it on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, by the way, there's no problem hitting the like button. There's no problem with that. We have no problem with that.
No?
Do you have a problem with that?
I don't even know how to get onto our YouTube page. So
go ahead and hit the like button. All right. Racket number 1. Zillow's agent profiles are the most useful, according to a new study. This study was done by it was released just this week by the Consumer Federation of America. It also warns consumers should be skeptical of the agent ratings. You know, sometimes Zillow has like best of Zillow. Yep. I guess that's what they're talking about. They don't reference it here in this Inman article. This is Patrick Kern's article.
Ratings, eh? Well, or you mean like maybe
No, the ratings is different than the review. Okay. They're not talking about the review.
Okay.
And they do mention the reviews here.
I'm glad that we specified that.
They say Zillow's the most useful agent reviews. So they're saying that the reviews are the most useful. The real estate agents' profiles not only cover the largest majority of active agents, so they've got most of the agents on Zillow, makes sense, also include current listings, past sales, price history, customer reviews. That's all true, right?
Well, yeah, obviously.
A home's the most expensive purchase consumers make. No kidding, Stephen. That's a CFA senior fellow. All right, great statement.
I guess how I'm sort of seeing it, of course, it's the most useful because it has all of the information there. Here's
what they examined. Zillow,
like Realtor doesn't have everybody's, not even everyone's photos on there. Yeah.
They examined Zillow, Realtor, Yelp, Facebook, HomeLight. I mean, HomeLight's, I like you, HomeLight, because we do some deals once in a while, but that's a total racket. So the thing about HomeLight is you can't easily, somebody from the public, go on to HomeLight and do research on agents. Whereas Zillow, it's very transparent. You can Google any agent in your marketplace that you're thinking about hiring as a buyer or seller agent, as a consumer, and you can, just like what they said, look at all of their reviews, and we'll get into reviews in a second, but you can also look at what I think is the most important, which is past sales. How many sales have you actually done in the last 12 months? Where are those sales located? Are you associated with a team? I can click the team profile. I can see how many transactions that they are also completing. Any agent that tells you, well, I don't put my sales on Zillow, is not an agent you want to work with. 3 out of 4.
I feel like Zillow attaches them to you, though. Don't you claim
they
them?
They are doing it now, but you could actually choose not to have your past sales on Zillow.
I don't even know why you would do that.
I don't know why you would do that either.
Unless they just say that and they just don't have any.
Well, here's where I'm getting at. 3 out of 4 consumers use Zillow. 75% of the foot traffic is on Zillow or Trulia. Zillow owns Trulia. So any agent, any broker, any team that tells you, the consumer, that, oh, we're just not putting our past sales on Zillow because of whatever their reason is, they're just not being truthful. Any agent that's actually running a real legitimate business is going to make sure, where 75% of the eyeballs are, that all their past sales are filled out, that they're getting as many reviews as they possibly can. Let's get into reviews for a second. These reviews, and they mention it in here, these aren't truly non-biased. This is not an unbiased source, because almost all reviews are generated by agents who contact past clients, like we do.
Absolutely.
For full transparency, we'll send a link to a past client. Hey, would love for you to fill out a review for me. Here's the other reason I wouldn't buy into the reviews 100%. I've got a fake review still on my profile from like the first or second year in the business.
How do you know it's fake?
Well, because first of all, it's ironic. It's now the town that I live in.
Okay. Ooh.
So they were claiming that I was showing them houses, that they wanted to see houses in the town that I currently live in now. and that I was showing them houses. Like the town I live in is on Long Island Sound, and they said I was taking them to properties in the all the way north in Connecticut in the woods, like on the Massachusetts
You don't even take
border.
buyers out.
No kidding. So I already know the story of how this all happened. That's a whole nother thing. My point is, fake review. The name on the review is like orangutan 267345. Some weird.
I get some of those.
Some weird name.
But they're licking really bad things.
And Zillow will not take that review down. So you've got to be careful. You want an agent with a lot of reviews so you can throw out those couple of bad ones and pick apart all the good ones. But I certainly would not advise consumers to go in there and just look at reviews, even though Zillow probably has the best review platform.
You have to, though, be like a Zillow. You have to register with Zillow. So I think that sort of stalls the system a little bit because you have to, which is the right way to do it, obviously, to make sure that they are legitimate. But I think if people are just like moving along their day, to have to sign up for a Zillow account to then give somebody a review.
That's where they stop and they don't want to go through and follow through on the review. But not just agent profiles. Zillow has the most data of all of these portals, unless you find a really good local portal, like we were talking about HAR last week, and it sounds like they're the only local portal beating Zillow in the market.
Right.
I got an email from Kathy. Shout out to Kathy Elson, our Smart MLS CEO here in Connecticut.
We should have her back. I feel like we haven't seen her. A cocktail or something.
So Kathy emailed me because she watched the last episode, and we've had her on probably, I don't know, when we were talking some MLS stuff, Clear Cooperation. You go back and find that episode. And she said, I want you to know, Byron, that we do have our own portal. We use HomeSnap. Well, yeah. Kathy, love you. It's not our own, like HAR.
Some agents do love HomeSnap, and people,
Well, but she did tell me,
and agents use HomeSnap. They're like, Nicole, did you get my message through HomeSnap? I'm like, what? Is that how you're like?
She did tell me there was
text
tens
me
of
just like you did
of free leads delivered to our agents here locally. So I do want to make sure I clear up on that, because I think we probably referenced that. Well, our board doesn't do anything like HAR, and it's not. Anyways.
No, but I think, again, that was last episode, but I love what they're doing like on Facebook and stuff too. But anyway.
So here's one of the things that they do reference in this study is that an estimated 90% of home buyers and sellers use an agent.
Right.
And that most of those consumers undertake a limited search when it comes to an agent, contacting only one. 70% of the time, the first person they talk to, they use.
You know what's super interesting there, though? Because I think that, yes, I agree with that. But the amount of times that I've met with like a Zillow lead that then like you could totally tell they've done like background on you after they've talked to you. I mean, the things they like say, and I'm sort of like I appreciate it though. Like I'm glad like you sort of looked. But I think more and more people are 100% doing way more research than they were. I would say even like 12 months ago for sure.
It baffles me in my career that I have not been approached more times by, hey, I'm looking to buy a home, and by the way, I'm starting my interview process of agents. I'm going to be interviewing 3 agents to select the right buyer agent. It baffles me how few consumers are taking that approach and having like, hey, let's do a Zoom call, and maybe even bringing up your Zillow profile and asking you about experiences in each transaction. And if you're a professional agent, you'd be happy to do that 20 minutes with the consumer and walking them through your value and the questions that they have. But too many times consumers are just on this mission for the product, for the home, even though it's their largest purchase, and they don't want to go through that process. I encourage, if you are a consumer, watch this. I know mostly agents are.
Yeah.
If you're a consumer, certainly.
Or those consumers that want to just deal with just the listing agents.
Yeah.
Love them.
If you're an experienced buyer, investor, that could work to your benefit.
Right.
But it's, anyway. So.
Anyway.
I would agree. Out of everything they looked at, Zillow.
I think the word useful is good. The word useful is good. It's very useful. I mean, they're not saying it's the best. They're not, but it is certainly a useful site.
It is useful. It is the most useful. This is not a racket. If you're an agent and you're not paying attention to your Zillow profile, I encourage you to do so. 74% of the foot traffic is Zillow and Trulia. You don't even have to update your Trulia profile. Zillow just does it for you once you update it on Zillow. And certainly, I know they're saying don't pay attention to the ratings. They're telling that to consumers, but you and I both know when a consumer does see best of Zillow badge on somebody's profile, they immediately are like, they got to be good.
Yeah.
Got to be good. Got to be good.
Got to be.
All right, racket number 2, we're going to Fox News. Local governments weigh major tax hikes to plug the coronavirus-induced shortfalls. They're talking, where we're going to focus in, they're talking about, income tax and wealth taxes and all that. It's not really our game here, but they mentioned property taxes. They mentioned that in Nashville, the mayor of Nashville is talking about a 34% increase on the real estate tax.
I don't even,
property tax.
I mean, they must be so low.
Well, so I believe that is true.
They've got, 34%.
I don't know. We don't know, obviously. Neither of us know, Nashville in particular or Tennessee. The little bit I know about Tennessee, Doug Edgerton, shout out to him, broker in Chattanooga, Tennessee, is that home values across the board, certainly in Chattanooga, again, I don't know Nashville's market, but I know a little bit about Tennessee, that values are much less than, say, here in the Northeast across the board, like what you get apple for apple. And I believe that property taxes are much lower. This is also,
but I wonder,
Tennessee's also a no income tax state, I believe.
So I wonder, though, it's interesting because I feel like there are so many, and again, I'm not putting this on it, but I feel like a lot of people are also kind of using Corona as a way to
no income tax.
Maybe they've needed money. Like, when was the last time their taxes went up?
And they're mentioning, 34%, Nicole. That's not a.
I hear you.
What are your taxes over there by the Green in pretty Guilford, Connecticut?
Like, what do I pay?
Yeah, a year.
A year? I don't know, like $8,000.
$8,000.
Yeah.
34%.
No, honey, I get it. But my taxes go up every single year. Is my point. Like, I'm wondering.
And actually, if you go back over the last 6-7 years, your taxes have gone up about 30, but that's spread out over time.
Right.
We're not.
So that's my question here. Yeah.
If you read this article, we'll link it up as we always do. They're talking about California in here. They're talking about Chicago. Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot said property taxes increases are on the table to help address budgetary problems that include a projected shortfall of nearly $700 million that she says could become even greater due to everything that's going on. In Texas, Dallas lawmakers were considering a massive property tax hike of as much as 8%, but needed the city council to pass a measure allowing them to increase rates by more than 3.5%. In May, they had a vote and it failed 12-3. So other areas, New York, New Jersey on the list. Connecticut was not mentioned. Thank you very much.
Goodness.
Now, I will encourage everybody, and we're going to link this one up as well. And shout out to Tom Ferry, the podcast or I think it's a Facebook Live. Maybe it ends up on his podcast after, but I'm pretty certain it is a Facebook Live. I know it ends up on his YouTube. Anyway, every Friday he's doing a market update, national market update show with Keeping Current Matters, David Childress from KCM, and Yvonne Arnold, who's a coach, and she operates a couple different real estate brokerages, I think California and then another state, and I'm not sure which one. But anyways, Yvonne brought up this howmoneywalks.com. If you go to the tab, explore the data, and maybe we can get that populated right here. Joe can do that. And it'll show you all these different colors. It'll go from like a really bright green in some states all the way to a really dark red in other states. The states that have a really dark red are the states that are losing money, billions if you're in the dark red, to migration.
Right.
Okay, so let's hover over Connecticut, which is dark red, right?
Definitely dark red.
We'll click on Connecticut because that's our state here that Nicole and I operate in. Connecticut has lost $19.57 billion in annual AGI. But it's super
interesting though. Look, at part of us are green.
So Middlesex County is neutral.
Yeah.
That's a neutral color. And then so our county here that you and I both live in, New Haven County, is dark red.
We're getting our butts whooped.
So Connecticut's lost almost $20 billion since 92 to 2018. If we go back and you can play with this, go to your state, dig in.
So fun.
Like if we go to Florida, my second favorite state, Florida has gained $187.8 billion in annual AGI.
And look, Connecticut's number 5.
We gave $12.88 billion over this time period, 92 to 2018, to Florida. So here's my point about showing you this. If your state, if your area is going to jack up property taxes.
So look at that. Look,
over time.
Take a peek at Tennessee then. See what's
let's
happening
look at Tennessee.
there.
So Tennessee's a bright green state. They've gained 17.
So they're bringing money in.
So Tennessee, for example, I don't know if what's going to happen in Nashville is going to happen across the state of Tennessee.
Right.
But if Tennessee's property taxes go up 34%, I can tell you with certainty
they're going to be red.
I can tell you with certainty that will impact property values. Property values will go down, and some people will leave, and that could swing the balance here that Tennessee has been, they've received adjusted gross income gained.
Illinois.
Just in the last 32 seconds. See this? $1,000 in the last 34 seconds they've gained. That's interesting.
35,
I wonder if we're losing.
Wow, we're
in
like,
Connecticut.
it's like live.
You got to look at that little ticker here. Look at Connecticut losing.
$103.
$130 we've lost in the last
5 seconds.
$200. Whoa, this is scary.
That's not even.
Anyways, the states that want to jack up property taxes, a couple things are going to happen. Home values will go down, have to go down because Nicole.
It's up to $600 already.
Yeah, it's crazy. In the median price point or the average price point or whatever in your area, if you have a home buyer that's taking out a mortgage and the taxes go, let's use easy numbers, from $5,000 to say $6,000 a year, can they not afford less on that mortgage?
Oh, absolutely. Well, I mean, even just town to town, like there's a town, Hamden, that's near us. I mean, I had a buyer that was looking in a $300,000 price range and the taxes were like 15 grand. I'm like, you guys can't even afford to look in Hamden.
Right.
Like you can't even that's more than $1,000 a month just in your taxes.
And so
that shit ain't going away.
The majority of buyers, by the way, are using a mortgage. Okay, so if the majority of buyers now can afford less, they're going to offer less. It pulls property values down. I believe what this Fox News article is referencing, property tax increases are being considered across the board in many states. I believe that one thing will pull down the real estate market faster and much deeper than any foreclosure crisis that could be looming.
Absolutely.
Again, actually, if you listen to the KCM, the recent one, they talk about, and we're not going to get into it here, we have in the past, about foreclosures and how we're probably not in a position where we're going to see a lot of them anytime soon.
Yeah, anytime soon.
And there's certain economists that believe that, and there's reasons why and all of that. But I can tell you for certainty, if taxes go way up, values have to go down, and then more people are going to want to sell in certain areas, certainly the red areas where the money is walking.
For sure.
Okay?
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because if you look here, like Middlesex, the taxes the mills over there are pretty low. So so
that's why people have come in.
Of course.
Middlesex is a county here in Connecticut, and they're neutral. They're not red like next door New London County, New Haven County, or Fairfield County. It's the only shoreline town that is more neutral with a little bit of a gain, actually. A little bit of a gain. Let's just click on it. So they've gained since 92 to 2018, 357.5
and look, New Haven County is their number one supply. Yeah.
Little marketing tip too. While we're on this, how money walks, we're going to be training on this week. I just heard about it on that TF podcast. We're going to be training on this on Wednesday because how often, Nicole, do we get a seller to ask us, where are people moving into?
Right. Where's my buyer coming?
Where's my buyer coming from?
Where's my buyer coming from?
I encourage every agent, every broker, every team to just, when you get that question on a listing appointment, on a Zoom appointment, whatever it may be, to pull up howmoneywalks.com and say, let's look at where our buyers are coming from. For example, if I'm talking about Middlesex, Connecticut, and I'm going to be listing a homeowner's property in Middlesex, and they ask me that question, I could go right to here and say, hey, since 1992 to 2018, kind of a lot of data.
Kinda.
Right?
A little bit.
Pretty good stretch. That we are seeing buyers from New Haven County, Hartford County, Fairfield County, Westchester County, and New York County, New York. So, Middlesex County sellers, they may believe that their buyer is only coming from New York. Well, your top 3 buyers are actually coming
from the town next door to you.
From the 3 towns surrounding you. Or actually, no, Fairfield's one over, but 3 of the counties next to you.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally,
we have that.
Clinton's gaining in from Madison,
Now, New Haven County, a little bit different where we live. There is 4 New York counties, and then Fairfield County.
It is very interesting. I mean, it's because again, it's so funny because we talked about this maybe 3 podcasts ago about like the whole everyone talks about like the New York buyer,
Right.
and we've never really actually seen them until right now. But
Not
clearly,
to this level. We've seen them, but
well, we have. But clearly, we have.
Yeah.
I mean, hello.
and certainly in New Haven County, not as much in
No, not in Middlesex.
or New
Well,
London.
Middlesex is because now we're going on to a completely different tangent. But what we've always been saying is that Middlesex is always sort of the second home. It's just a little too far, I think, sometimes from New York.
You've seen people in New Haven County go to towns like an Old Saybrook.
Oh, of course, my
Right,
mom
if you're
did
local,
that.
you know these towns we're talking about,
The
like an
mom
Old
that she
Saybrook,
saved in
where-
taxes.
Yeah, they saved some taxes from Guilford. She sold you the house with the big taxes.
I bought it.
and went and got a pretty nice
Sucker.
house with lower taxes.
Flippin' sucker.
All right. So
Anyway.
this is not a racket. What is a racket is if they can't find ways to generate income. I've talked about Connecticut in particular on the radio station that we do local here multiple times, that why are you not jumping on the train here, legalizing marijuana, increasing your tax base through that? Why are you not legalizing sports betting while people can drive over the border to Rhode Island, play sports bets, and you can increase your tax base there? Don't just take the easy, lazy approach, government officials, and jack up property taxes. That would be detrimental to your market, and I don't advise it at all. That would be the biggest racket of 2020.
Ooh, you know what we should look at when we're done? We should look at Massachusetts. Maybe people from Connecticut are going up there because they don't charge for your they don't charge tax for your retirement
I could
either.
spend hours on that site.
Ooh, it would be fun. Well, when we're done.
You know what I mean?
People have learned a lot about Connecticut today.
Yeah.
There'll be
No
a quiz.
question.
There'll be a quiz on Middlesex County later.
No question. All right. Marketeer of the Week. Another Jay Thompson article.
We
2
like
weeks
him.
in a row, Jay. It's like you're not even retired. 11 rules of engagement to avoid social media trouble. Now is not the time to pull back on social media. Agree. Do you agree?
Of course.
Not a racket. Exercise caution.
For
and follow
sure.
these guidelines to help your business above potential phrase. To keep your business above the potential phrase. All right. So this is 11 rules. We're going to go through each one. And we're going to say
We love it. We love numbers.
whether we agree or not.
Yes.
All right. Racket or not. Rackets in the Marketeers.
I mean,
love
number
it.
one should be number one.
This is Inman, of course. Jay is writing for Inman, I believe, once a week. And the second week in a row, we've picked up his story. So number one, avoid politics and religion. Would you agree?
Holla.
I think that's an easy one.
I mean, for
We're going
real.
to sign off on that one.
Hello.
No politics, no religion. Don't be racist or biased is number two. I mean, does that even need to be said?
It shouldn't be
like,
said.
even if you're not in business or social media, it's
Right.
not okay to be racist on social media. Number three, know that nothing is private. Okay. Do you think you're in a secret group on Facebook that will never see the light of day? Think again. Yeah. Anything, screenshots are a click away. Absolutely. Not a racket. Make
Nope.
sure you're, even if you're sending a text message to somebody, that could be screenshotted and that could be bad for you.
Or saved or pulled. I mean,
Number four, follow the golden rule. It's been around for centuries across virtually every culture for a reason. The golden rule is sage advice for living life. Treat others as you would like to be treated. Blah,
Okay.
blah, blah. Yeah, that's a real estate thing, right? That's the golden rule of real estate.
no, I think it's the golden rule of life.
Number five, don't spam. So do you agree with the golden rule? Treat others as you want to
Well,
be treated?
obviously, yeah. I mean,
The problem
Sort of
with
what you
that
teach
rule,
your
I've always-
children.
Here's the problem. I've always had a problem with that rule is I can handle being treated certain ways that other people can't handle being treated. So like treat others as you want to be treated. Well, I got tougher skin than a lot of people. All right.
but you don't deserve to be treated poorly.
But it's the
But maybe
rule.
you do.
I'm talking about the golden rule. Treat others
The way you want to be
like
treated.
you want to be treated.
Want to be treated.
I don't mind being treated, a little harsher. It doesn't ruffle my feathers that much. I like criticism. I enjoy it. Number five, don't spam.
Okay.
What would you consider spam?
Well, look, flooding inboxes, news feeds, repetitive messaging. I agree. Stop with the humble brag. I mean, it's...
Well, hold on. Number five, don't spam. I want to touch on that real quick.
Okay.
Because
We're
I think
bombarded
you should
with
be sending
information.
messages. I think you should be
Well, but-
bombarding
but-
people if it's good content. But okay, so I agree. Don't send out spam though. Don't send out bad content. Don't send out crap.
Yeah, but you don't have to triple share it, quadruple share it.
Quadruple share. I would
Yeah.
do that.
Okay.
I would quadruple share. All right. Number six. Stop with the humble brag. Completely disagree with this one, Jay. Total racket. You should be humble bragging all your success. It's called social proof. Sellers actually will make decisions based on it.
Well, what he's saying though is that it's funny because it's just only realtors toot their own horns.
Who cares that you close some transaction after 3 months of busting your butt? Sellers do. That's so. Sellers. Okay, so continue to humble brag, continue to put out that social proof, show your real trends number, show how much you and your team are selling in the marketplace. I think it's important. Exercise caution with humor. Yeah, I mean, listen, people hate everything right now. So humor could fall into that category.
Definitely be careful.
I would say
especially if it's like dirty or vulgar.
Yeah, I would say if you're coming from a good, authentic place, I don't mind humor. I mean, Broke Agent has the best Instagram in real estate, and it's all humor.
Right. Well, but that's because he's making fun of himself.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So you got to stay true to who you are. Don't be a keyboard warrior. Means I guess you're just talking crap on Twitter. Is that what that means?
I don't. It just
keyboard warriors out there.
You're trying to hide behind. Oh, so you're just sort of arguing. You're arguing like you're going back and forth and arguing.
Going back and forth. Yeah. Number 9, never post while drinking. I would totally agree with that one. Nicole?
100%.
Do you post when you drink?
I don't think that I do.
Do you drink?
I definitely drink.
Okay. Number 10, separate the business and the personal. Ooh, what do you think about that one? That was interesting, Jay. A lot of people disagree with you on that.
So absolutely. I mean, I do have a personal page and I do have a business page, but I definitely find that I need to bring my personal into my business because that's how I become relatable. So I don't know. That's a hard one.
You do a lot of family stuff.
I do a lot of family stuff, but people then, yeah, I do. And then
I decide not to. I actually have said for years that I think the way I do it is the wrong decision because I see other people pull off the mix of everything that they're into with their business quite well. And I think it brings them more attention. I think it brings them more people that are interested. Like, if you're interested.
Well, it makes you human. It shows that you're human.
Yeah. So I would disagree with that one. And then number 11.
Be nice.
Be nice.
Isn't that sort of like the golden rule?
It is kind of like the golden rule.
He just really wanted to have an 11th.
Could have went with 10 there, Jay.
Could have totally gone with 10. Top
right.
10. I like the top 10.
Do you think being nice is good?
I think it's pretty important. Yeah.
It's appropriate. But I think you could have stayed with 10.
Well, in all honesty, I think what maybe should be added there, I think that it's super important for you to also, I hate to use the word congratulate, but if people are being boastful, I mean, I think that I think it's imperative for you to give congratulations to, like what's the word? Why am I like blinking? It's good to
give props.
Yeah, like good job, Byron, on your 50 million sales. Like I think that goes a long way too, because I think that if other consumers are commenting as well, and they're seeing that other agents are giving them like a high five, I think it shows you as a good agent.
When he says be nice, like being nice to other agents, like you're talking about, is super important. Having good relationships on social, it's still conversation, so all of that plays into it. So I think, I don't know, what were we, 80% we agreed, 80, 90%?
For the most part. Which one didn't we didn't? I think it was maybe one we didn't agree with. Oh, but then you didn't like the golden rule. But then you liked 11. Anyway,
I just think the golden rule leaves a lot of gray area. It should be called a gray rule, right? Anybody could interpret that any area. I didn't like number 6.
I think that's just you. I think you're just gray.
No, I don't think so. All right, that's it.
That's it. Thanks, guys.
Keep it real.
See you next time.